India, a land of timeless civilizations, vibrant cultures, and resilient peoples. Its history stretches back thousands of years, telling stories of great empires, spiritual revolutions, cultural milestones, and struggles for freedom. To understand India today, we must journey through its past, exploring the rise and fall of kingdoms, the waves of invaders, the sparks of reform, and the fight for independence. 1. Ancient India, circa 3,300 BCE to 500 CE. The story of India begins in the Indus Valley Civilization, around 3,300 BCE. Cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were marvels of urban planning. Streets were laid out in grids, houses had advanced drainage systems, and trade thrived with distant lands. The people of the Indus Valley were skilled artisans, making jewelry, pottery, and seals. But their script remains undeciphered, leaving a mysterious veil over their culture. Following the decline of the Indus Valley Civilization, around 1500 BCE, the Vedic period emerged. The Vedas, sacred texts composed in Sanskrit, laid the foundations for Hindu philosophy, rituals, and social structure. Society was organized into varnas, early forms of what became the caste system, and the epic tales of the Mahabharata and Ramayana began shaping cultural identity. By the 6th century BCE, India saw the rise of urbanization and kingdoms in the Gangetic Plains. Philosophers like Mahavira and Buddha questioned the rituals of the past, advocating for ethical living, nonviolence, and inner awakening. Buddhism and Jainism spread widely, influencing not only India but also Central and East Asia. Around 322 BCE, Chandragupta Maurya founded the Maurya Empire, uniting much of northern India. His grandson Ashoka transformed the empire after witnessing the horrors of war at Kalinga. Ashoka embraced Buddhism, promoted moral governance, and sent emissaries across Asia, spreading Indian culture and ideas far beyond its borders. After the Mauryas, smaller kingdoms like the Shungas and Satavahanas dominated, followed by the Gupta Empire, circa 320 to 550 CDE, often called the Golden Age of India. Science, mathematics, astronomy, literature, and art flourished. Scholars like Aryabhata advanced astronomy and mathematics, while poets like Kalidasa enriched Sanskrit literature. Indian culture, philosophy, and learning radiated across Asia. The medieval period began with the fragmentation of large empires into regional kingdoms. In the north, the Harsha Empire briefly reunited India, but soon after multiple dynasties rose. The Rajputs, Cholas, Pallavas, and Vijayanagara Empire in the south. Indian architecture saw majestic temples like Brihadiswarar in Thanjavur, reflecting devotion, artistry, and advanced engineering. By the 12th century, Turkic invasions changed northern India's political landscape. The Delhi Sultanate emerged, ruling large parts of northern India for over 3 centuries. It introduced new administrative systems, Persian art, and Islamic architecture, including forts, mosques, and gardens. Despite invasions, Indian culture adapted, giving rise to syncretic traditions blending Hindu and Islamic art, music, and literature. Trade flourished during this period. Indian spices, textiles, and gems were in high demand, connecting India to Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Indian ports like Calicut and Surat became cosmopolitan centers. In the south, the Vijayanagara Empire, 14th to 16th century, resisted northern invasions, preserving Hindu culture, temple art, and administration. Cities like Hampi showcased monumental architecture and thriving marketplaces, reflecting the empire's wealth and sophistication. During this period, Indian society saw a mix of continuity and change. Local economies flourished, trade expanded, and craftsmanship in textiles, metalwork, and miniature painting reached global acclaim. Yet regional powers like the Marathas, Rajputs, and Sikhs maintained their influence, sometimes resisting Mughal authority. The arrival of European powers in the early 16th century, Portuguese, Dutch, French, and British, began altering India's economic and political fabric. Initially limited to trade, their influence grew over time, exploiting rivalries among Indian kingdoms to gain power. to 1947 CE. The turning point came with the Battle of Plassey in 1757, where the British East India Company, under Robert Clive, defeated the Nawab of Bengal. Gradually, the British expanded their control, establishing a colonial administration, exploiting resources, and imposing new taxes. India became the jewel in the crown of the British Empire. The colonial period was marked by profound social, economic, and cultural changes. Traditional industries like textiles suffered due to British imports, while railways, telegraphs, and modern education systems reshaped the country. Reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy challenged outdated customs, advocating for social reforms such as the abolition of sati, promotion of women's education, and modernization of society. Indian resistance grew over time. Revolts such as the 1857 Sepoy Mutiny demonstrated widespread discontent against colonial policies. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, nationalist movements emerged. Leaders like Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai, and Bipin Chandra Pal inspired Indians to assert self-rule. The Indian National Congress, formed in 1885, became the principal platform for political struggle. The 20th century saw the rise of Mahatma Gandhi, whose philosophy of nonviolence and civil disobedience mobilized millions. Movements like the Non-Cooperation Movement, 1920, Salt March of 1930, and Quit India Movement, 1942, intensified the demand for independence. Parallel to political activism, social and cultural revival flourished. Figures like Rabindranath Tagore won international recognition, and reform movements addressed caste discrimination, women's rights, and education. On August 15, 1947, India gained independence, ending nearly 2 centuries of British colonial rule. The country faced enormous challenges. Partition displaced millions, communal violence erupted, and the economy was underdeveloped. Yet, India embarked on a journey to build a democratic, secular, and diverse nation. The adoption of the Indian Constitution in 1950 established India as the world's largest democracy. Leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru focused on industrialization, scientific advancement, and education. India became self-reliant in nuclear technology, space research, and information technology over the following decades. The post-independence period also witnessed social transformations. Land reforms, the Green Revolution, expansion of education, and efforts to reduce poverty. Cultural renaissance continued, with cinema, literature, and art gaining global recognition. Modern India faces challenges and opportunities. Rapid urbanization, technological growth, and economic reforms have transformed the nation. India's history of resilience, adaptation, and diversity continues to shape its identity on the global stage. India's history is not just a timeline of kings and battles. It is a story of human creativity, spiritual inquiry, and societal evolution. From the urban sophistication of the Indus Valley to the philosophical depth of ancient sages, from the grandeur of Mughal courts to the courage of freedom fighters, India has continually reinvented itself. The legacy of Indian history is visible today in its pluralistic society, rich culture, and democratic values. Understanding this past is essential not just for knowing where India has been, but for imagining where it can go. History teaches resilience, innovation, and the enduring power of ideas. India's past is a mirror to its present, a tapestry of triumphs, struggles, and transformations. To walk through India's history is to witness the enduring spirit of a civilization that has influenced the world for millennia. And as India moves forward, it carries this legacy into the future, ever evolving yet deeply rooted in its ancient heritage. India's journey through time continues, shaped by its rich past and evolving future. Its legacy of resilience, culture, and innovation still inspires the world today. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more stories from the past.